ocheri bathi mthandeni ukhata bathi myekeni ubani ongakunika lento ungabona sikhamba kancane ungabona siphila kancane uyabona siphila kamnandi sonke masithandane abasibonga wena sonke senziwa kuwe ubani osinika lento ubani ongakunika impilo yakhe ngenamphina abantu bathi uyimpintshika mampintsha awuthi bathi sikhonzeni ocheri bathi mthandeni ukhata bathi myekeni ubani ongakunika lento ungabona sikhamba kancane ungabona siphila kancane uyabona siphila kamnandi noma impilo inzima
say, sit down, that bag.
Anytime you call me out,
Go. Anytime you call me, I am ready to answer. Anytime you call me, I am ready to answer. Anytime you call me, I am ready to answer.
I think so, Lucy Pick, and the Lambengalo Clash. I cause Kati so good kind. Bring the rice, bring the spice. I don't mind, I'll dish it nice. Here's the sauce, I'll pass it by. Now just go in, just a lap. Get up, come release. Get your rice, come and dish. Sit down, come and eat. When we dine, come and dance. Get up, come release. Get your rice, come and dish. Sit down, come and eat. When we dine, come and dance.
Pharmaceutical in Nigeria, pioneering the local production of much needed health.
And maybe 8 other staff. So we're on the whole 10 staff, in March 1995. But by the time we were getting to about December 1995, we were, almost 40. One of the earliest challenges was essentially that we could not find suitable skills in the young people that were available, to take some of the challenges that we were throwing at them. But we got it right. And we're surviving. We're not only surviving, we're growing bigger every year. Fidson basically crossed the Rubicon in 1998. 1995 was good. 1996 became challenging because we got hungrier and we began to set lofty targets for ourselves. Of course, a business that started off with 5 million naira needed more money at that point. I then had to sell some of my assets, some of my very critical assets, in order to commit more money into the business. By 1998, we had gone up to about 18 million naira. So slowly but surely, in spite of the fact that, money is always a critical thing in any business, it became a lot easier to run the business from 1998. We have crossed several milestones. I would say the first one was essentially deciding to own our own brands and develop our own brands, market them such that we grow brand equity for ourselves and not for somebody else that we are distributing for. That was a critical milestone, right? The second milestone, of course, was manufacturing. We went in that direction, and it's paid off, largely for the brand Fidson. The third milestone, of course, was making a judgment on whether we should remain a private company closely held by the family and my colleagues that we started up the company with. Taking the company public, right, was a very critical milestone. It improved our own ability to manage the business well in terms of corporate governance and all of those governance issues that ensures sustainability of a company. into the future. Fidson started as a family business, and those gentlemen, 3 of them that started with me in 1995, precisely Ademola Adeuti, Biola Adebayo, and Olugbenga Olayiwoye, then became shareholders in the company, I believe, in the year 2000. But come 2007, we opened up the company more to investors. We did a private placement, right, that brought in about 3.5 million. June 2008, we went public. The company got listed on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and of course, our share holders base, expanded. The board is primarily responsible for where we have reached today because they superintend over the strategy, fine-tuning the vision, fine-tuning the mission, and what have you. They have played the role of ensuring that they are the custodian of value for the investing public. We've got to get our succession planning right. We've got to get our strategic business plans, and then we have to clinically execute those plans to succeed. But more than all else, it all still boils down to getting the right human resource, right? So we have to be ready to invest in existing human resource, go out there and find people that are fit and built, study for the future, right? That can take us into the future. Now, in addition to all of this, it is that we as a people should continue to work with other stakeholders within the community of pharmaceuticals. Even though we are not the first indigenous company to go public, we should also take the lead for the consolidation of the value chain that ensures that the consumer, the patient, right, gets qualitative drugs at affordable prices, and they get them safely and in a timely manner. For so long as we continue to provide those services, right, I am almost certain that any of our offerings will be bought by Nigerians. Nigerians have been highly supportive of our efforts. The next generation of managers in Fidson are today being trained. The next generation is taking over in finance and accounts, supply chain, HR department, even sales and marketing, right? And the operations, which is the factory, have also been infused with young people in whom we are investing in their training. Whether it is sending them to Harvard Business School, whether it is sending them to other countries to go and learn new ways of doing things. All of these are being handled by the next generation of Fidsonians. And I'm sure that from what I have seen, we're in good hands. Such that when we retire, these guys will not only have acclimatized culturally, right, but they become an epitome of what Fidson stands for, the culture and the traditions of Fidson, right, will be ingrained in them, and they will carry it, to the next generation and to the next generation. Like the good book says, time and chance has happened to everybody that has succeeded, right? For Fidson, we came at the right time, and we had the right opportunities at the time we came. If we continue to be on top of our game, there is no challenge.
When you're feeling sick, to take cough syrup, Tuxil cough syrup provides relief. Provides relief from... Oh, yeah, take. Take fast-acting Tuxil for relief from cold and cough.
Are they okay?
You don't chop? Oh yeah, mogo.
Tuxil cough syrup. The job gets done when the cough is gone.
We have been on this issue now for 6 years. She has gone for tests. Uncle, honestly, I'm beginning to think this woman may be barren.
Have you ever considered going for a test?
Me, test? For what now?
Just go. Just go and hear what the doctor has to say.
Okay, sir.
Mr. Bai, the problem is you have low sperm count. But there is a solution.
There are several factors that can cause male infertility. All these factors may lead to low sperm count, poor sperm motility, and poor sperm share. Adizua contains a unique formulation that aids the production of healthy sperm cells, thus improving the chances of fertility. Adizua, the absolute man.
One student was not missing.
Sestra Once a Day Pregnant Multi, a gentle, non-constipating, multi-nutrient formula for every woman before conception, during pregnancy, and breastfeeding. Sestra, wellness naturally.
During my presentation, my colleague stood up and she started walking towards me.
I couldn't sing with my choir that day.
So that's how I thought this guy wanted to toast me.
My honeymoon. I planned everything, down to my menstrual cycle.
He was like, "Hi, auntie, you know who we are talking to?"
And I was confused. Like,
Roses, champagne.
Then another lady walked up to me and said, "Auntie,
Halima,
you are stained.
You're stained."
Ha!
Yeah, I want to enter ground.
I don't know which one pained me more. The period, or that real care that they gave my solo.
Period.
Period no go shame also.
For those with irregular menstrual cycles, consult your doctor or pharmacist. M2 Tone restores the rhythm in a woman's life.
Motherhood is a gift every woman desires, but unfortunately for some, this gift can be hard to come by due to fertility issues. Possible causes of female infertility include irregular menstrual cycles, stress, anxiety. Even your diet can have an effect. Fortunately, MT Tone has been especially formulated to support hormonal, nutritional, and emotional balance whilst relieving pain and regulating menstrual cycles, thereby increasing the chances of conception. MT Tone promises the beginning of motherhood.
Sometimes, life can present us with very intimate challenges. Challenges such as irregular menstrual cycles, fertility issues, even the general health and development of mother and baby can be a cause for concern. These circumstances often require specialized solutions. Wellness Naturally was created to provide natural solutions for some of life's most delicate challenges. If a natural solution is required for an intimate issue, visit wellnessnaturally.ng. Wellness Naturally, live naturally, live well.
Since its inception in 1995, Fidson Healthcare PLC has relentlessly pursued the goal of becoming the leading player in the West African pharmaceutical landscape. As a result, Fidson has been at the forefront of innovation in pharmaceutical manufacturing in Nigeria, pioneering the local production of much-needed healthcare solutions ranging from over-the-counter medication to proton pump inhibitors and antiretrovirals for HIV/AIDS. We engage a highly dedicated team that utilize processes in line with best global practices to deliver quality products and services. All because at Fidson Healthcare PLC, we value life.
Fidson started in 1995, 1st of March to be precise. At the time we started, we were basically 2 pharmacists and maybe 8 other staff. So we were on the whole 10 staff, in March 1995. But by the time we were getting to about December 1995, we were almost 40. One of the earliest challenges was essentially that we could not find suitable skills, in the young people that were available, to take some of the challenges that we were throwing at them. But we got it right, and we're surviving. We're not only surviving, we're going bigger every year. Fidson basically crossed the Rubicon in 1998. 1995 was good. 1996 became challenging because we got hungrier.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call on Chief Adesina to please give us the opening prayers. So, can we get the mic across to Chief?
Hello? So, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but there's no audio. I've asked them to go and fix it. Let us pray.
I was hearing some messages that I cannot hear any voice.
Oh Lord, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us together to deliberate on the progress of our company, Fidson Nigeria PLC. We thank you for the journey so far. We thank you for where you are taking us to and where you will lead us. We are grateful to you for the fact that at the time when we started the company, those that were even met in the race, some have gone into the oblivion. But we thank you, by your grace, we are still standing. We went through the effort of becoming worldwide acknowledged company. And this is what we are enjoying today. Many that started with us that time had died along the way. We thank you, O Lord, and we are praying that you will not withdraw your grace from us. We thank you for the board, staff, and management of this company, for the grace you are giving them to perform. Father, continue to give us accident-free operations in our company, such that when people using our drugs, we always have cause to glorify you for providing a company like this for us. Thank you, Lord, for what you are doing in the life of the shareholders. We thank you that the company is giving us when they have, and they are always standing by shareholders. Father, continue to stand with them. These and other things we ask for, and we are praying that you will lead us through our deliberations in this meeting today. And at the end of the meeting, we shall have cause to glorify your holy name in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to the 22nd Annual General Meeting of our company, and I'd like to crave your indulgence to take the proceedings sitting down. Thank you so much. Thank you. I would like to request that those moving motions during the, just a second. Yeah. As you all know, this is a special time on account of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has curtailed social gathering. Accordingly, in line with the guidelines of the Corporate Affairs Commission on the conduct of annual general meetings of public companies by proxies, and the need to comply with the directives and regulations of the Federal Government of Nigeria, Lagos State Government, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, on safety and health measures against COVID-19, the attendance at this year's annual general meeting, just as it was in 2020, is only by proxy, and it is limited to a maximum of 50 people. This is in line with Section 254 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. Therefore, the votes of members by proxy shall be counted in addition to those cast at this meeting by show of hands. I would like to call on the registrars, Meristem Registrars, and Probate Services Limited, represented by Mrs. Mubo Olashoko, to please confirm the total number of valid proxies received in accordance with the law.
And the total number.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. I'd now like the company secretary to confirm the quorum, we have a quorum for this meeting.
In line with Article 20 of the company, quorum is hereby mustered.
Thank you. I would like to request that those moving motions, those seconding motions put to the meeting, and those making comments or asking questions should speak clearly into the microphone. Before speaking, kindly commence by stating your name. There will be opportunity for questions and comments. I wish to appeal to each speaker to be brief and also to please raise your right hand when voting to make counting easy. Now, I would like to inform you that the Register of Directors holdings, I think we have them with the registrars. The Register of Directors holdings and Register of Attendance at board meetings are available for inspection during this meeting in compliance with Section 284, subsection 2 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the rules of corporate governance, respectively. I now want to introduce the directors and the company secretary. The profiles of the directors are contained in the published accounts, which had earlier been circulated in full compliance, In full compliance with the social distancing rule, the managing director and I are the only directors physically present at this meeting. Other directors are joining us virtually. Permit me, therefore, to recognize them and the company secretary. And I'll start with our pioneer managing director and chief executive, who is to my right, Dr. Fidelis Ayebe. I would also like to introduce Mr. Emmanuel Imageni, a non-executive director, and he's on the screen. Mrs. Olufumilola Ayebe, non-executive director, is also on the screen. Mrs. Aishatu Pamela Sadauki, OON, non-executive director, on the screen. Dr. Vincent Ahohai. Dr. Ahohai was appointed an independent non-executive director on the 1st of January 2021. At the appropriate time during this meeting, he will be presented to you for election in line with the law. I would also like to introduce Mr. Ekunife Okoli, who is also on the screen. Thank you, Ekunife. Mr. Okoli was also appointed an independent non-executive director on the 1st of January 2021, and at the appropriate time during this meeting, he will be presented to you for election in line with the law. Mr. Olubenga Olayeye, Strategy and Marketing Director, is also shown on the screen. Mr. Abiola Adebayo, Operations Director, is also on the screen. We also have Mr. Ola Ejimaki. Mr. Ejimaki was appointed an Executive Director in charge of commercial, which is sales, on 1st January 2021. At the appropriate time during this meeting, he will also be presented to you for election. To my immediate left is Mr. Yomi Adebanjo, the Company Secretary. I am Shegun Adebanji, Chairman of your company. Also in attendance are the representatives of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Mr. Bonaventure Onwuji. I hope you hear. Yeah, that's right. The Securities and Exchange Commission, Mrs. Aisha Liman, who is with us virtually, and the Corporate Affairs Commission, also with us virtually, observing the meeting. Shareholder members of the audit committee, namely Chief Matthew Akinlade, yes, who is the chairman of the audit committee, Alhaji Babatunde Sarumi, and Mr. Sunday Akisoya Solomon. Thank you very much. They are all physically present here. The directors' representatives on the audit committee are Mrs. O.O. Ayebe and Mr. E. Imwagene, whom we introduced earlier. I now call on the company secretary to read the notice convening the meeting. And I would suggest that for the sake of time, that we focus on the main items. Thank you.
Business. Ordinary business. To lay before the meeting the audited accounts for the year ended 31st December 2020, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and audit committee thereon. To declare a dividend. 3, to elect Dr. Vincent Aonhai and re-elect Mrs. Aishatu Pamela Sadauki, both of whom are aged over 70 years, pursuant to Section 282 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. And to elect and re-elect other directors who are due for re-election and election respectively. 4, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. Number 5, to disclose the remuneration of the managers of the company. Number 6, to elect members of the audit committee in accordance with Section 4043 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. And to also consider the following special businesses. 7, to fix the remuneration of directors. 8, to consider and, if thought fit, pass the following as a special resolution. Inverted comma, authority to allot shares. That the directors be and are hereby authorized to allot a total of 313,639,750 ordinary shares of 50 kobo in the company's share capital not later than the 31st of December 2022 by way of a private placement and or combination of any of rights issue, public offer, conversion, or such other method as may be approved by the regulators. The shareholders having hereby granted all necessary waivers to put effect to this resolution. And number 9, to consider and, if thought fit, pass the following as an ordinary resolution. That the general mandate given to the company to enter into recurrent transaction with related parties for the company's day-to-day operations, including, amongst other, the procurement of goods and services on normal commercial terms, be and is hereby approved. As this meeting has been convened by proxy, the list of proxies are also shown, including the chairman, Mr. Segun Adebanji, Dr. Fidelis Ayebe, the MD CEO, Chief Matthew Akinlade, Alhaji Abdul Kabir Babatunde Sarumi, Mr. Solomon Sunday Akisoya, Barrister Ganiat Adetutu Shinyabola, Mrs. Adebisi Bakari, Mr. Gbenga Idowu, Mr. Boniface Okezie, Mr. Olayiwola Kazim, Mr. Badmus Tunde. Dividend payment note is also included to show that dividend will be payable tomorrow if approved at this meeting. The register was closed from 8th to 14th of July 2021, and nomination of audit committee was also allotted to every member of the company. The notice also drew attention of members to e-dividend mandate, in which they were encouraged to fill appropriate forms. This meeting will also be live streamed, as it is being done currently, by order of the board. J. Abayomi Adebanjo, FCIS. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yomi. Thank you. The chairman's statement was circulated together with the published accounts. May I please have your permission to take it as read? Thank you very much. We now proceed to the agenda of the day. I shall be moving the motions and then asking a shareholder here present to second it before putting it to votes. The votes already cast by way of proxy shall be added to those cast by those in attendance, and the registrar shall announce the result on each business before I declare the results. Item 1 on the agenda is to lay before the meeting the audited accounts, which I lay before you now, for the year ended 31st December 2020, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and audit committee thereon. I now call on the representative of the auditors, Deloitte & Touche, Mr. Chigozie Okoro, to please present the auditor's report. Mr. Okoro.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of Fidson PLC. It is our pleasure to have served as the auditors to the company, and I want to say thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to serve. We concluded our audit, and we are happy to present to you our audit opinion, which is clean. We did not have any reason to modify or qualify our opinion. I also want to thank management for the support we received in the course of the audit, in spite of the challenges posed by the COVID-19 that made our work to be done virtually most of the time. They were very supportive and they cooperated with us. And that actually helped us to conclude the audit and enable the company to file their returns within the allowable time. The auditor's report can be found on pages 44 to 47 of the annual report with you. May I crave indulgence to read the first, second, and the last paragraph? Thank you so much. Independent auditor's report to the shareholders of Fidson Healthcare PLC. Report on the audit of the financial statements. We have audited the financial statements of Fidson Healthcare PLC, which comprises the statement of financial position as at 31st December 2020, and the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, the statement of changes in equity, and statement of cash flows for the year then ended. The notes to the financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the company as at 31st December 2020, and its financial performance and cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with the requirements of International Financial Reporting Standards, IFRS, the requirements of Companies and Land Matters Act, and the Financial Reporting Council Act 2011. Can we go to page 47, please? Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with the Companies and Allied Matters Act, we expressly state that, 1, we have obtained all the information and explanation which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. The company has kept proper books of accounts so far as appears from our examination of those books. The company's financial position and each statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of account and records. This opinion was signed by my very self, Chigozie Okoro, on behalf of Deloitte & Touche. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Okoro. I now call on the chairman of the audit committee, Chief Matthew Akinlade, to present the report of the committee. Mr. Chief Akinlade, can you?
The chairman, board members, regulatory authorities, my colleagues, esteemed shareholders, good morning. My name is Matthew Akinlade. I present the report of the audit committee. The report could be found on page 36 and 37. Audit Committee's report. In the course of the financial year 2020, the Statutory Audit Committee of Fidson Healthcare PLC met 4 times, as illustrated in the table below. Our terms of reference include, but are not limited to, the following. 1, assist in the oversight of the integrity of Fidson Healthcare PLC financial statements, compliance with legal and other regulatory requirements, assessment of qualifications and independence of external auditor, and performance of the company's internal audit functions, as well as that of the external auditors. And assurance and report annually, external auditors and performance of the company internal audit functions, as that of the external auditor. 2, ensure the development of a comprehensive internal control framework to the company. Obtains assurance and report annually in the financial report on the operating effectiveness of the company's internal framework. 3, oversee management process for the identification of significant fraud risks across the company and ensure that adequate prevention, detection, and reporting mechanisms are in place. 4, discuss the annual audited financial statement with management and external auditors. 5, discuss policies and strategies in respect to risk assessment and management. 6, review and ensure that adequate whistleblowing procedures are in place and that a summary of issues reported are highlighted to the chairman. 7, review with the external auditors any audit scope limitations or problem encountered and management responses to same. In addition, to review the independence of external auditors and ensure that where non-audit services are provided by the external auditors, there is no conflict of interest. 8, preserve auditors' independence by setting clear hiring policies for employees or former employees of independent auditors. 9, invoke its authority to investigate any matter within its terms of reference, for which purpose the company must make available the resources to the internal auditors with which to carry out these functions. including access to external advice where necessary. Consequently, in accordance with the provisions of Section 359, subsection 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the members of the Statutory Audit Committee of Fidson Healthcare PLC hereby report that we have exercised our statutory functions under this act, and we acknowledge the cooperation of the management and staff of the in the conduct of this responsibility. Specifically, we confirm that, 1, the accounting and reporting policies of the company are consistent with legal requirements and ethical practices. 2, the internal audit programs are extensive and provide a satisfactory evaluation of the efficiency of the internal control system. And 3, we have considered the independent auditor's post-audit report and management responses thereon, and are satisfied with responses to our questions, as well as the state of Fidson Healthcare PLC. Signed by me as the chairman of the committee. The other members of the Statutory Audit Committee are Alhaji Abdulkabir Sarumi, Mr. Solomon Sunday Akinsanya, Mrs. Olufumilola O. Ayebe, Mrs. Aisha Sadauki, and Mr. Emmanuel E. Imuagene. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you very much, Chief Akinade. Thank you so much. As copies have been circulated to you in advance, I hereby lay before this meeting the Director's report, the statement of financial position, together with the financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2020. The Managing Director and myself and other directors will be pleased to answer questions and listen to comments which you may have on the report and the financial statements. Before we proceed to the next item on the agenda, it would help us to properly address your questions if you would refer to the page of the report and accounts to which your questions or comments relate. So we'll have some time for questions. Shall we start from here? As usual, I'll give the lady the first opportunity. And then, sir, we'll come to you after that. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, directors, executive directors here present, those that are joining us online, my co-shareholders, good afternoon. My name is Mrs. Bisi Bakari. I'm going to be very brief, as usual, Mr. Chairman, in order to give my colleagues opportunity also. I will start from page 9, where we have results at a glance. Firstly, I want to use this opportunity to congratulate our company, management board and staff for these excellent results, because the result we are considering today is a very good result compared to previous year. I will start from the revenue. Our revenue grew by 30%, from 14.1 billion to 18.3 billion. Our profit before tax moved from 575.7 million to 1.8 billion. Profit for the year also grew by 196%. Retained earnings also grew by 25%. Our earnings per share grew by 193%. The same thing on stock exchange quotation. From 3.10 kobo last year, we are having 4.50 this current year. This is very good. Please, a round of applause should be given to the board, management, and staff. Page 50. Statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. Mr. Chairman, I commend the management for the decline in their finance costs. Our finance costs came down from 2.3 billion to 3.1, from 1.736 billion to 1.3 billion. This is very commendable. But, sir, I don't know why our finance income came down by 83.58%. Finance income from 57.4 million to 9.2 million. I want MD to give us the reason behind this, from 57.4 million to 9.2 million finance income. This, on the same vein, our administrative expenses went up by 47.6%, and the cost of sales also grew by 19%. I want MD to give reason for all this jump. Page 78. Note 5, revenue. Mr. Chairman, looking at this, for ethical and over-the-counter OTC is very good. But my concern here, I noticed that our consumer, the revenue we have nil for 2020. So I want to know the reason for our consumer to be nil this year. Page 79 and 89. I will take page 79 and 89 together. That is on our trade receivables. I noticed that our trade impairment of receivables, impairments, that is note 8 under administrative expenses on page 79. I noticed that our impairment of receivables from nil position last year, we incurred 276 million this year as our impairment. So that will take me to page 89, where we have note 21.1, trade and other receivables. I noticed that for 2020, our trade receivables is 2.2 billion. So my concern is that I want the management to look at this so that come next year, we won't have another impairment. And the management should try as much as possible to get part of this money back. Even if you can't get all, at least to get more than 50% of this amount in the next annual report. Furthermore, Mr. Chairman, I think there is need to look inward to source for our raw materials locally in order to reduce the effect of inflation and high exchange rate of cost of sales. Again, I commend the board for the appointment of 3 new directors. I hope they will bring more value to the board and to our company at large. Lastly, I want to use this opportunity to also commend the management for including the list of the names of unclaimed dividend with this annual report. It's highly commendable. This will give us opportunity to look at the list and look for our members that have unclaimed dividend to get in touch with them. I think this will also reduce the unclaimed dividend. Thank you once again for the opportunity. Oh, sorry. Maybe before I leave this place, I want to put it on record that no registrars or no company should give any unclaimed dividend money to any government, because the case is on court. Shareholders have gone to court and we won. So I'm just using this opportunity to tell registrars not to release our money. It's our money. It's not federal government money. Once again, thank you for the opportunity given to me.
Thank you very much, ma'am, Mrs. Bakari. As I said earlier, just a second, the gentleman is on the floor, and I'd like to welcome Your Excellency. Your Excellency, you're welcome to this meeting. I'm glad that you were invited this time. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. No, we have a member on the floor. Please
Thank you,
go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, the Managing Director, the Company Secretary on the high table, regulatory authorities here present, and my highly esteemed fellow shareholders. The name is Abayomi Adebayo, the National Coordinator for Passionate Shareholders Association Incorporated. I think first and foremost, I'd like to commend the Secretariat and the Secretary and his team for the way this AGM is being arranged. I think they did a very good job, and it's very impressive. And I start my comment on page 9, just to add some few points to what the earlier speaker said on that page. I read in the chairman's statement that this, the result we are considering today is a sterling performance. But I want to say that this result is not only a sterling performance, but it's an excellent result. And my reason for saying this is that going through this page 9, which is a result at a glance, you will find out that not only is all the indices positive, but there is huge increase in all the figures for this year, for 2020 over that of 2019. All the figures there for 2020, there is huge increase to that of 2019. And that's why I said it's an excellent result. And I want to commend the board for this wonderful performance. And I was just surprised that despite all what was mentioned in the chairman's statement as the challenges that were faced, like the NSARS, COVID-19 pandemic breakout, and even the lockdown, and the board are still able to present this kind of result. I think they did a very wonderful job. And I pray that God will continue to help them. The few things I'd like to mention on this page is that I noticed that there is also increase in EPS, earnings per share. For that of 2019, it was 20 kobo, and while 2020 was 58 kobo. But I also noticed that 15 kobo was given as a dividend in 2019, when we have 20 kobo as EPS. But in 2020, when we have 58 kobo, we are giving 25 kobo. I think we would have done more than that. But I think the one we are giving today is still okay. And I'm also impressed. I want to also commend the board that in 2019, we were having 397 staff, but the board still deemed it fit to also take a few members of the community out of the labor market. And I'm saying this because this in 2020 we have 405 staffs. That is, additional 8 staff were being employed. So that is one of the things that actually impressed me on that page 9, which I think I must commend the board for. And I also advise them that they should keep focusing on the drivers of this performance, and God will continue to help them. Going forward, on page 13, new appointments. Since the appointment of the 3 new directors on the board, Dr. Vincent Ahonkai, Mr. Ekwenufe Okoli, and Mr. Ola Ijimaki, now makes the board structure fully compliant with Section 275 of the new CAMA 2020. We commend the board for this appointment of these 3 highly professional and accomplished members. We also charge the 3 new directors to use their professionalism and wealth of experience and add great value to the company so we can have even a better result for 2020. And I think this also makes the board to have a 6 non-executive and 4 EDs, and that will make the workloads to be lesser for the MD. Likewise, I also like to mention on that same page 13, where we have operating facilities. And on that page, which is still under Chairman's statement, I read on that stage that the strategic expansion of our factory in Songwater the expansion of our factory in Songwater is highly commendable. That is, the strategic expansion of that factory is highly commendable because it will help to meet the local demand for our brands, and also accommodate other third-party brands, and also enable the company to increase product offering, and also retool the factory for better efficiency and eventual World Health Organization pre-qualification. For this reason, that is why I said the strategic expansion of the factory is highly commendable, and I really commend the board for this. If the completion of the first phase of the factory is achieved by the end of 2021, I think shareholders will greatly appreciate the effort of the management in this regard if they are given the privilege to pay a visit to the site. On page 22, which talks about CSR and donations, what I saw there makes me to say that the company has shown clearly that they believe strongly in giving back to the community, as the donation made in 2020 doubles that of 2019. That is, it over doubles that of 2019. But I still like to say that though it is highly commendable, but for the future, there may be need to actually list out the beneficiaries one after the other. And on page 30 to 32, where we have corporate governance and attendance at meetings, my take there on those pages is that the attendance of directors at board meetings and that of all the subcommittees, the attendance at meetings there is very highly commendable, and it actually showed a high level of commitment of directors to the business of the company. But I also noticed that for remuneration committee, risk management and audit committee, and nomination committee, these 3 committees held just 1 meeting in the year under review. Likewise, I would like to refer to our products, which is one of my area of concern. And I'd like to say here that it impressed me to see that the company actually made a very good use of this annual report to showcase and advertise the product of the company. And that will help because this annual report will go a long way. It will go far. And when it gets to different places and people begin to see those products, they will get to know those products and be able to also like to get them. But I also like to ask that I noticed that some of our products, which personally I love so much, I can't find them in this annual report. So my concern is that are those products still in the market, or what happened? Like the product I'm referring to as follows. I like to mention Astifa. I can't find it in the annual report. I like to mention Fidson bitters. These are some of the products I personally buy often, but I can't find them being advertised in this annual report. Are they no longer in the market, or what actually happened? I like to commend the board also for distinguishing between the two Toxil N and Toxil D, there is one Toxil which is meant for cough-free nights, and the one that is meant for day. We have a nighttime care Toxil and daytime care Toxil. That is, there is one for you to take at night when you like to sleep, and there's one for you to take at the daytime. This is a very good initiative from the company. I would also like to advise that the company should also try to also begin to think of going natural in some of our drugs. We should begin to have drugs that will be made of pure natural herbs and roots, because this is one of the things that other healthcare companies are doing. And I'd like to stop here so that others can also have an opportunity to comment. God bless our company.
Thank you. Shall we ask Madame in the yellow cap to please come? No, we'll get there. Just be patient. I can assure you we'll get there. My boss at home is a lady.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am standing on existing protocol. My name is Barrister Detutu Shiyonbola. I have some observations, comments, and questions. And I just want to start by giving kudos to the board and the management for an excellent result based on the results at a glance on page 9. That in the midst of the pandemic and EndSARS protests, we were able to deliver excellent performance. Please keep it up. Then the next one is on the page 13. The board, under the chairman's statement. I want to talk about the 3 new directors that were appointed. I just want to seize this opportunity to welcome them to the board, most especially my pastor, Mr. Olai Jimakin, that has been appointed Executive Director, Commercials. I want to welcome him, and I want to wish them a fruitful tenure in office. Then, from page 16 to 19, the beautiful faces and profile of our directors, I observed that we have only 2 ladies as directors out of 10, including the newly appointed directors, which amounts to 20%. But if I want to limit myself to the year under review, we have only 2 ladies as directors out of 7, which amounts to 28%. This is unacceptable on gender balancing. We have to improve on it going forward. On page 21, item 9, director's interests. I observed that 6 out of 7 directors have our shares attached to their names directly. This is very good. I am highly impressed. The only director who is not a shareholder is our chairman. Why? We want to know the reason. On page 22, item 13, corporate social responsibilities. Well, I observed that our CSR centered on health, education, and community development in the year under review. But next time, we should extend it to social welfare. youth and youth empowerment going forward. On from page 30 to 32, attendance at board meetings and board committee meetings. Though it's good, but it can be better because I noticed some absence. Some people are absent here and there, so it can be better. On page 79, note 8, administrative expenses. I have some questions there. Association and membership went up from 7.6 million naira to 9.6 million naira. Why? Consultancy fee went up from 107 million naira to 128.3 million naira. Why the increase when some companies are slashing fees? Impairment of receivables came from the blues. And the figure involved is huge. I'm talking about 276 million. How can we forestall this in future? Office supplies went up from 10.3 million naira to 17.6 million naira in the year under review. Why? Repairs and maintenance went up from 285.8 million naira to 352.3 million naira. Why? Auxiliary materials and tools went up from 67.9 million naira to 96.3 million naira. I want to know why. Directors' expenses went up from 22.2 million naira to 27.4 million naira. It's high because the new director's account is not yet involved. The 3 new people are not yet in this account we are looking at now. So I want to know the reason. So exchange loss, though, came from the blues. The figure here is huge, 309.3 million naira. Though we know that dollars has gone up, but we can still do something about it. So I observe that the CEO's report is missing in this report. Why? Okay. Thank you, sir, Mr. Chairman.
So we will take the gentleman at the front and then the gentleman in the yellow cap. Oh. I'm just trying to cover the sequence. The gentleman will have the floor. Then the gentleman in the red cap, in the yellow cap, will have a chance. Then we move here, and then we'll come to you, sir. Yes. We will come back. So let's give everybody their chance, please. And I would strongly advise that where issues have been raised before, we don't repeat them, so that we can give other people a chance to add.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman of Fidson PLC, distinguished directors of our great company, fellow distinguished shareholder, good afternoon. My name is Okezia Boniface, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, today is not a day of query because Nigeria is well. Nigeria itself is not well. It's sick. The economy is sick. If you are doing a business and survive, we just come here to praise God. Because economy itself is not performing. Why should you query the company how to have come with this result? The thing that I'm glad, I'm happy, and others like mind, is that we are having here 25 kobo today, despite the challenge. Yeah, anyone 58 kobo, and you are paying out 25 kobo. Commendable. But if you had given 30 kobo, we would have taken as well and plod other back into the business because things are hard. And that's the truth. So don't command how do you spend this and that. The light is not stable, and you earn on generator running the plant 24 hours. Mr. Chairman, the road leading to your factory, who constructed it? The company managed to, do those roads. I mean, what are we talking about? The water you treat, you do everything. It's your own, no company. But I mean, how do we come from here? That's why some companies are not even paying. We are talking about raw material. The foreign exchange is not really available. And when you come, that's why you are incurring loss on Forex. Because maybe you have to go to black market. Today, the BDC have also suspended. And that's why most of you in the corner and go to get these things. They're able to get raw materials. You go to bank, you spend 3 months. Nobody attended to you. But I don't know how the bank going to cope now with this pronouncement yesterday. So we don't come here and queries. Many companies are trying to survive. My earlier brother that spoke about increase on workforce, just 2% increase on workforce. 399 and you have 204. I mean, is that an increase on job employment? It's not an increase. Government is not employing. The private sector ought to be encouraged. You don't have incentive from government. What are we talking about? So for me to come here is not to just raise queries, but just to be prudent. That's all in what you're doing. Be prudent. Mr. Chairman, I'm also found out, even the auditor were going to the same market, buying things, But I think auditors, next year, we don't expect increase from 14 million on page 80, from 11.5 million, please. Is that what? It's because then you have to raise high. Look at this man. So, auditor, please take note of that, because you are not in arbitrary increase. I know you. I know the law thought. But you need to also be lenient in these things, okay? Yes. Mr. Chairman, shareholder advised last year to get cheaper fund for CBN rollout on pharmaceutical company and BIO. How far have you utilized that? I've seen, I know. So if that, that also saves us some cost of interest element paying. I know it will be reduced for 1.3 billion interest payable on servicing loans, But if we can also bring it down more, better for us. Because those things can be channeled back to pay higher dividend. So that people, if the dividend is high today, nobody will query you, how do you spend this, how do you spend that? They're worried, But I can understand the polite or shareholders if they're showing such a query, Mr. Chairman. And also Mr. Chairman, the resolution you're asking us to do today on issue shares. I'm looking at Mr. Chairman that we will ask for bonus increase for us. I don't know him last. You give us bonus in this company. I don't think that maybe in this company. Now you are asking us to propose a resolution to sell or 3-something million. Why don't we recapitalize this into bonus to shareholders, Mr. Chairman? That's what I'm looking at, Our reserve, our premium is growing, 4-something billion. It's meant for who? And also, they ask you to share these things that they don't want any unusual to be left. The regulator have said these things. So the only option now is for us to give bonus, and that's why our shares not climbing. It's not that we're not doing well. A lot of brokers don't patronize. They say, this company is not giving bonus. It's only appreciation, and it's not much. I'm going to eat at the end of the day. Because by the time you are now this in, the price moves up. I know one company that now 1-for-1 now, they're going to close about November. The price has gone up for 1 naira something to almost 4 naira something kobo today. And they're proposing at 15 kobo as well with that 1-for-1. And this company giving it almost 33 years. They issue bonus to their company. No matter, fishing. I mean, Mr. Chairman, please, Haba, don't interrupt me. Mr. Chairman, what I'm saying that, we are going to oppose this resolution. Please, even if I pass it, you need to convert it to bonus to shareholders. I'm telling you, Mr. Chairman, that's the way to go. Because Hemlock the Wood is formed not quite long ago. And I want us to forfeit waiving right and this and that. That is not good, Mr. Chairman. Look at, you have to rethink over the issue. Even if we're approving it, let it be other way. Not, waiving my right. I won't waive anything, primitive right, I won't waive.
Either it's bring right issue back in next year or thereabout, we will take it by lower price to compensate us. But I'm advocating that we should do a bonus. Even if you are coming to market or private play, whatever you want to do. But remember that we are asking for a bonus. It's overdue. It's overdue, Mr. Chairman. I'm not going to bore your time like other previous speakers. I am not going to do that, honestly. Yes. Mr. Chairman, finally. Yes. Mr. Chairman, the list of drugs listed here, like Abayomi pointed out, there's one of famous drugs, Ciprotab. Let me mention it by name. Ciprotab of Fidson is one of the best, and followed with the other pharmaceutical company, which also dear to us. It's working magic. Ciprotab is very costly in the shop today, Mr. Chairman, and it didn't reflect here among the arrest of drug we parade. Maybe it's been manufactured for us abroad, we shipped in. Maybe that one is not here. The one we have manufactured is one is stated here. So address those issues. Whether, this Ciprotab is no longer available, or we're no longer distributing it if we're main distributor. And that's why they're not here. It's available. So, Mr. Chairman, because I've seen the cost of advertisement, I'm not going to go there now, let us advertise what we have. And cost of importing, about 7-something billion, I say 5, we need to reduce those things. And that's why we have a world-class factory to produce locally. And as somebody said, we have to source raw material. But unfortunately, we don't have much universities in the country. And that's where the country is failing. We cannot provide adequate health care for our population. We depend on importation. If India is shut their border today, we cannot get these raw materials. And that's the truth. So Nigeria need to wake up. When somebody say, bless Nigeria, the one that bless, what have we done with those blessings? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency, Mr. Chairman. You made it earlier known to us that Sir Sanin Wosu is an excellency. Well, there is no doubt about that, acronym. But your humble self, I have to call you Your Excellency. Good afternoon. I'm my amiable, ever proactive, dynamic managing director. I stand on my feet by complying to the existing protocol to say good afternoon. And finally, to the company secretary, ever willing, able, and ready, like the Air Force, I wish you well. Well, another fellow Nigerians, good afternoon. My name, to the glory of God and the benefit of mankind, is Olayiwola Kazim. I will like to be tactical. Tactical in the sense that I will summarize what I have to avoid repetition due to paucity of time. Firstly, to congratulate you once again is a must, because we all know what we face, that myself, we are facing where I stay presently, and I wish this country well. Well, I congratulate your company and the board for managing the scenario of our time. God will continue to abide with us and give us the opportunity to excel in our various endeavors. Mr. Chairman, the dividend, I beg your pardon? You said what? Well, you have a personal question. Can we meet after this forum?
Excuse me. Let's give due respect to the people on the floor, please. Yes.
Well, the dividend of 25 kobo is highly impressive compared to that of 2019, which is 15 kobo. But nevertheless, it is not up to a naira. And you know, we are facing what we call a downtrend of the economic situation of this country. There is need for something to be done for people who have a heavy investment, and so for some of us who have a moderate investment in the company. Mr. Chairman, my analysis is segmented into two phases. I'm giving advice and commending you on what you have done so far. Sir, on the job training I read on this encyclopedia that you have embarked on sending people out both locally and international, for training. Well, is a very good man, but may I implore you that you consider all departments, because in the system I work with, if you only rely by sending one department or faculty to external training, you are not doing yourself a good thing. Can you please consider all departments, legal, maintenance, marketing, commercial, and all the departments of the company? Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I saw it in your report. There's an acronym called ARGOM. ARGOM means Esteeming Genius of the Month for the children. May I ask the managing director or you, your humble self, is it extended to the northern states? If you can mention the state specifically, I will find out, and I will get back to you. Because this report covers all the 6 geopolitical zones of this country. And I stand to be corrected. I couldn't find it where I stay. Mr. Chairman, what are we doing with the Alternative Dividend Fund? Like my sister has rightly said, enough is enough to divert the public fund for irrelevant projects. I think you need to do something by publicizing this, either in the national dailies, so that people can come forward to pick their money. Mr. Chairman, sir, the explanation on the compliance with your CSR policy, you mentioned some focus area: health, children's health, education, and one other thing. May I ask at this juncture, the breakdown of the beneficiaries are not there. You only give us a bottom line of whose donations were given to. May I know, sir? Mr. Chairman, the advertisements for publicity is very important, especially in local language. In local language, so that people can know your product by advertising on the media, radio, electronic, television, and the newspaper, which is print. People will be able to know the value that you are adding to the society. If you tell me you produce needle, can you say it in my language for those who are not lettered, so that they can appreciate you? Once people don't appreciate what you do, majority of Nigerians, most of the people are educated, but there are some semi-educated. So you need to come down to their level to tell them what you are selling. Finally, Mr. Chairman, we just have to appreciate what I said about ARGON is very important. Going to any teaching hospital, pediatric unit, pediatrics is very bulky in terms of outpatients. So they need it more. And I have to appreciate your donation to some agencies and institutions, because we are seeing it in the media. So please keep it up. Finally, sir, we have to give kudos to the secretariat of this company. Whatever people do that is doing, we have to appreciate it and thank God for the life of that person. Your humble self, as I've mentioned, the managing director, and the ever-ready, ever-willing, able, proactive secretary. We have to appreciate the secretariat for the good leadership role Mr. Adebanjo is playing. Because what is worth doing at all is worth doing well. So says William Shakespeare. On this note, I have to end my comments and appreciate your recognition so far. God bless Nigeria once again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kazim. Yeah, the gentleman, you have the turn, and then please we'll come down to the gentleman in yourself and the chief. Yes.
Distinguished shareholders, thank you very much for all of your contribution. But I'd like the other associations and some of you gentlemen that are very good in this business of shareholders activism to follow the example of ISAM. The emeritus at every AGM, I know that they forward their questions well in advance. I received several pages, about 10 pages of questions and contributions, and thoughts and ideas from ISAM, just last week, and it helps to shorten AGMs. Right? I think we should, try and imbibe this example. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Andy. Thank you. So, but let's please keep the questions very short so that we can, because we need to after yourself and Chief, we'll have to stop, please. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the name is William Adibayo. To the glory of God, in every situation we find ourselves as investors, there is gain and reward in every situation. That's why I have taken the pain to make sure I get here today and contribute. Presently, over the world, the pandemic has shown us that our institution, this Fidson, to the glory of God, will take care of entire Africa. If the board is clever enough to quickly take the opportunity of the circumstance the world is today. Look at the money we are raising. To me, I think it could be very small. Because from onset, this institution has come up with award-winning products. But today, if you look at what is happening in India, and look at many pharmaceutical nations, they cannot even give out drugs out that they have been doing for over the years to lesser privileged nations. They can't give it out. So this opportunity, this pandemic, has given us a gift, that is to expand our business. Nigeria alone have close to 200 million. So if we can quickly seize this opportunity of this corona, we can enlarge our shores. So I will implore that the board to look at the fund we are raising so that we won't come back to raise more money. To the glory of God, Fidson will take care of the entire Africa. That money we are raising might be too small because we have started on a good note of picking award-winning products. And today, India cannot give out drugs for poor nations again. They can't. These are where we should quickly look into. Go into it. Of course, it's money. That's why I say we should think of raising bigger money. And we have a track record that is beautiful, paying dividend all the time. So we should quickly tap into that opportunity, raise more money, take more award-winning products, dream of catering for entire Africa. God bless you. Thank you.
And then the last question will be I'm sorry, we have to bring it to an end.
Thank you, sir. My name is Tunde Badmos. I thank you for this privilege extended to me. And I will risk rhetorics by thanking the company for making it possible for me to be around today. And I will risk the same thing to thank the founding managing director. And being a man worthy of emulation by way younger generation, I commend his humility and readiness to relate with every cadre in the society. To us, he's an uncle. He has played fatherly role, but he's still a friend. Thank you, sir. I would disagree to the dismay of others. This is not a good result. Last year was the good result. This is a better result we are celebrating. While the best is yet to come. I also congratulate you for bringing us this far and presenting us with this performance. All indices are in the positive. Mr. Chairman, take the kudos on behalf of the board. And also, I will re-emphasize the request for better staff training and provision for their enhancement too, emoluments-wise, I know you are trying, but we can still do more. And Oliver Twist will always ask for more. I also read the same thing for rhetorics to thank Yomi. He's always reaching out and ready to risk whatever to satisfy you, even things that may be beyond him. I understand him, while I thank the chairman and recommend him that he does more to the company secretary. Last time I needed Astimi, I'm used to the syrup. I discovered I visited 2 places. I was only able to return with the capsule, which I wasn't used to. Sir, what is happening to Astimi syrup, especially? Because getting scarcer and lesser available, and across the counter, something I don't see any reason we should be finding it difficult to get across to what we needed. Please kindly look into it so that we can have access to the good product. I'm surprised that the company is now manufacturing Ogun Isoye. Because I hope others have noticed there's a new product here that we parents can easily take to. No, it's for the kids in the school. I have it here. If you look at it, you will discover what I mean. It's there now. There's an Ogunsoye there anyway. Perusio. For brain regeneration and sharp memories for school children. I'm not joking, it's there. Consult your own annual reports, please. Cognium. Thank you for collaborating with me. And this is the new reality, as other speakers have observed. What steps are we taking on a general term to rescue Nigeria and Africa in coming out with an indigenous vaccine that will have a name tag on it? I will save time so that I won't be accused of the same thing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, our brother and friend. God bless you. A youngest old man. Another youngest will have
we have to bring it to an end, otherwise we'll be here till tomorrow. So please, let's give the elder.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Labi Peter is the name. Chairman of Integrated Supreme Shareholders Association. I know Fidson is among the companies that value life. You see, checking my list of listed company on health sector, we have about 11. Out of 11, 4 is existing, while the remaining are dead. You see. Four are existing, but the remaining no more. Who are the shareholders? We are the shareholders.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, can we have one meeting, please? I really would appreciate your support. Thank you.
Then going through my record again, since 2009 to date, I can say this year dividend is the highest so far. From that period up to today, 2011, no dividend was paid, but others, you pay us dividends. Sir, you've tried. I will thank you for that. I won't say much about that. Sir, your corporate social responsibility, sir. I'm not happy for page 42. You see, it's like we wasted our money. What do we gain from these people? There's a lot of people who need our help, our assistance. I will suggest they should not be among your list. Page 42. I think you have seen it. Yeah. What do we realize from them?
I even thought when I was coming that maybe from the gate, I will see security. And I was asking myself, are we safe? Because the purpose of giving social responsibility for these people, I don't know the purpose. What do they do for us? They have to have value in this country, Nigeria. So let's cross it for future. It's a suggestion, no. I know before you give it out, there is a reason, but we are not happy with that. Sir, I want to talk about your distributors. They are not enough. In my own area, K2 side, I don't think most of your products here are not available there. And the available ones are fake. Fake drug. And I don't know the difference between a fake and original. This is very important. And you know people doing fake drugs. You know them. You see. And nothing. The regulators did. They do nothing. They look at them. The rate at which these fake drugs are killing people in Nigeria today is too much. Let your drug be available, even though it's costly. You see, let them be available. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank all of you for your patience. Sorry? Please go ahead, please. Oh, not a problem. Yeah. It's just to enable other participants to see you on the screen. That's all. Yeah, not a problem.
Please take it very well from me. My name is Benga Edowu. I never go to any meeting I'm not invited to. For this particular meeting, I know so many, even more than 1 month ago, they told me, and I come to this meeting, you are telling me I can't speak. I don't want to speak. I'm one of the projects brought to this meeting, listed. And you sit down here, I'm telling you I can't speak.
Mr. Edowu, with due respect,
Yes, sir.
yeah, if that is a point of order, I understand your concern, but the point is this, that we have had many people speak in this meeting, and I think, and we cannot, if we had to accommodate every single person.
Mr. Chairman, if it is a normal meeting, AGM, all of them, they know me. If you don't call me, I won't bother my head.
Thank you very much.
You to come to a meeting, and then I sit down here, do what? What did I come to do?
You have had your chance to speak. Thank you very much for your observations. We'll move on with the meeting. Thank you.
Please, sir.
Can I move on, please? Yes. Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to appreciate the commendations that you have given, but I must emphasize that the right people to actually attribute this to are the team members in the company, led by our amiable and indefatigable managing director. In spite of the challenging environment, they have responded to the challenges extremely well. And on behalf of the board and the shareholders, I'd like to commend the management team for a job well done. Well done. There are a number of observations and questions and comments and advice that have been given, and I can assure you that we've taken them all on board. And we will work on them and ensure that they are addressed, such that as we go forward into the next years, you can see that the team will continue to sustain the good performances that we have had thus far. I'd also like to address a specific question which involves myself in terms of my not having shares in the company. You will probably notice that in all the boards that I serve, apart from where I first worked as an employee, Nigerian Breweries, I don't hold shares. and it is to enable me to serve you as an independent director of the company. And that will continue for as long as I'm available to serve. Thank you very much. Yeah. Right. The observations have been made about dividend payment, and I'm sure as we go into 2022, we will take those issues on board and ensure that based on the performance of the business, we are able to reflect the performance in whatever dividend payments we recommend to yourselves in future meetings. There is a lot of work that is being done in terms of taking advantage of local manufacture, and you would see from the information given by the company that the level of contribution from local manufacture has been increasing over time and will continue to increase. And that is aimed at also reducing our reliance on imported products, where you are actually bringing a lot of water in when we can use a lot of some of the local substances here to ensure that we are producing and leveraging the resources we have locally to minimize our reliance on imports. Unfortunately, we are still reliant on imports for a large part of the inputs. But the more we are able to generate a local manufacture, the more we're able to reduce that reliance on imports and ensure that local skills are upscaled going forward. So I think the strategy that the management team are pursuing in terms of local manufacture is the right one, and I'm also happy that the shareholders support us in that drive for the future. I believe those are some of the comments I'd like to make at this stage, and I'd like to give the managing director an opportunity. Yes, please. Right. Yeah.
It's very important to shareholders.
You're right.
So I want to raise it. Otherwise, I have a couple of things that have to come to the orderliness of the meeting.
Right. Please go ahead so that at least we can then wrap it up. Yeah. Thank you.
It's very simple. It's part of the agenda. Okay. Very simple. It's part of the agenda of the meeting on the special placement. Now, on working out this, we have only 313 million shares, 640, that is available to reach the capacity of our capital base, which is a matter of concern to the regulators. We've been given up to December next year to conclude every arrangement about that. Now, this also means that we are talking about 156 million naira if compared with the number of shares on the nominal value of 50 kobo. And if you go to the list of major shareholders, you will see the amount of shares there. We are left with a good floating number of shares. But I strongly believe, except there is a special reason for wanting to make a special placement, it will not be necessary because this can be consumed by the 2,600 and something shareholders, considering the record that we have considered today. And I'm quite sure the half year itself will still give us a further knowledge that we are buying to a better company, like Badmus said, not just a good company, a better company. So my proposition in this case is that, except, like I said, there's a special reason of trying to do special placement. Otherwise, this can be consumed by shareholders as a right issue if you feel strongly that we are not going to give bonus. Because, again, I am one of those that actually always ask for bonus. But I have come to realize that there is a time that bonus has to stop, so that we can be able to take... Mr. Yeah, please,
Boniface, just hold on, because
Cyrus is on the floor, please.
Yeah, when you were speaking, somebody tried to interrupt you, and you were not happy about that. I think we can compensate the shareholders with this little number of shares with a right issue than going for a special placement. A special placement means bringing in a special caliber of people to take that quantum of shares. If you, as the chairman and the MD, can tell us the reason why you want to make a special placement, it may be clearly understood by the shareholders. But that's what I feel I should advise the board. Thank you very much. Every other thing may follow in addition to what we have done before, because I'm very happy with the accounts. And Fidelis will also just need to tell us, how have we benefited from the 100 billion naira from Central Bank? It's very important that shareholders should know all this, so that wherever we are, if we have opportunity to see these people, we can make some proposals to them or inform them that we have not benefited from what you have enjoyed publicity on. Because what government is doing is to enjoy publicity and bring in some kind of roadblock to those things, but they will not say those ones outside. They will always say, we have made this. So thank you very much once again.
Thank you, Cyrus. My advice is this. With the trust that you've placed on the board and the management of this business, I can assure you that whatever we do will be in the interest of shareholders and the business. I can assure you that. But we need to have the flexibility to ensure that whatever we do actually optimizes the opportunity, not just short-term, but long-term for shareholders. And on that note, I would like to crave your indulgence to limit that conversation for now. Yeah, I would appreciate that. In terms of the access to cheap funding, I'd like to give our CFO the opportunity to explain in very brief terms the efforts we've made in tapping into very good funds, cheap funds, to try and restructure the balance sheet of your company. Inoha, please.
Good afternoon, members of the board and the chairman, and distinguished shareholders. Good afternoon. My name is Imoha Ayebe. The question that the Sa'unwosu had put forward in terms of utilization of the CBN funds. If you go through the guidelines for the CBN 100 billion naira CBN fund, you realize that that fund was for manufacturers and players in the healthcare space to expand capacity so that local production would help in meeting the healthcare needs and medicine needs of the teeming Nigerians. One of the things that we have always done as a company was focus on the quality of products, and that essentially is reflected in the state-of-the-art manufacturing facility that we have at Songwater, which some of you have been privileged to visit. The 100 billion naira fund we accessed, we're one of the companies that accessed that in the pharmaceutical space, and we have deployed those funds in the expansion of capacities at the factory. One of the benefits of the expansion drive, which we started last year, is signing a partnership agreement with GSK. That has opened up a new income stream to us as a business, which is contract manufacturing. And there are many more conversations like that that are happening. So it's not only going to help us in growing our organic business, it is going to help us in even adding to the revenue stream that we have as a company. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Moha. That's very good. Thank you. Just a couple of other comments that were specific comments. There was some issue about the finance income, why it was low. in this interest rate environment, we probably make more money by investing in our own business than putting the money in the bank. So that explains it. And in terms of, I think all the comments made about marketing, those comments have been taken on board, and I'm sure, thanks, Sarusu, and I'm sure our colleagues who continue to do extremely well in this regard will take them on board. So I think I'd like to give the MD an opportunity to say a few words on the specifics.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, distinguished shareholders. Let me again apologize on behalf of this side that because of time, the chairman limited questions, to a few people. I am always very mindful when our distinguished shareholders feel offended. And I want to apologize profusely to you, especially, we will not invite you and ask you not to talk. He's not gagging you. He's just simply saying, let us take samples of contributions. We respect you and we honor you. So please, don't be offended. I don't think that was meant. I will make just a few comments on employment. Madam talked about youth empowerment. Our employee list is not for employee list. The 406 that you see in the accounts are for formal employees, people that you can call formal employees of Fidson. But in order to further empower youths and create more employment, there is a secondary employee list, if you may call it employee, that is 650. These are known as outsourced workers, people that do packaging, etc., etc. So if you now total employees, you are talking of 1,060 employees per time. In addition to 1,000 employees per time, to further empower these youths, the company has a minimum of between 30 and 40 slots constantly filled for IT, students and for youth service students. So it's just to give you an insight into what we are doing to empower and to help with unemployment in Nigeria. Of course, we have always said that you are free to come to visit the factory, but we will appreciate if you do it in groups. But this is not the best time to do it because of COVID, right? When COVID recedes slightly, as soon as you can organize yourself into about 20 members and preferably across the shareholders groups, just give us a week, we will organize a factory visit. For those of you that had visited before, that factory has changed. It has expanded by about a 50% at the minimum. So you will be more pleased when you see it. The chairman, and I ask your permission, sir, before I make this comment. The chairman was just being very careful and being very diplomatic, or if you want, being very humble with his words. He, this morning, at the pre-AGM board meeting that we had spoken for shareholders' compensation in terms of additional dividends to be paid. But he won't say so because I know him, he's a very conservative person. So as concerning those shares, trust that, the FNGPC and of course, that is the board committee that is responsible for that, and the entire board will do what is necessary. At the right time, what you see in the share premium account, we will utilize properly at the right time. But tall man Boniface, before you boil over, before you boil over, cool temper. Don't worry, we are on your side. 2020 was good. By the grace of God, half year 2021 is better. And Lord helping us, we will close the year very strong. And the chairman's prayer on behalf of shareholders, which is to pay more dividends, will be visited, by the board. I guess the CSR, we paid about 58 million in CSR throughout the year. You will notice that we de-emphasized religious organizations and emphasized more on giving our product to institutions. When we say institutions, they cut across hospitals, Nigerian police, schools, churches, etc., etc. So all of these are grouped as institutions. But the one we concentrated the most in 2020 was giving palliatives to our constituents. Who are our constituents? Where the factory is located and some other areas where we thought that we should extend a hand of help. And it worked out because during the NSAS, when some hoodlums were trying to target our factory, the community rose and they stood for us. Why? Because they got palliatives within that community of close to 10 million naira. Rice, this, that, right? And even Okezie also got Revive. Right? He likes Revive. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, MD. Thank you so much. Thank you. No, it is coming in dividend. Don't worry. Yes, thank you very much for your patience and your contributions. Item number 2 on the agenda is the declaration of dividend. I hereby move that a dividend of 25 kobo per 50 kobo ordinary share recommended by the directors and amounting to 521,590,562.50 naira be and is hereby approved. Will a shareholder please rise and second this motion? The lady, please. Thank you so much, ma'am.
My observation is about cholera drugs and ECOPS drug. I will discuss later about it.
Thank you very much. Will a shareholder please rise and second this motion? Yeah. Oh, I believe she's just seconded it now. With all those in favor of this motion, please signify by raising their right hands. No, but okay. Would anyone objecting to this motion please signify by raising his or her hand? Absent. The registrar should please announce the result.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Sorry, I'd like to confirm that at this meeting we have 474 proxies and we have 18 shareholders present here. So we have a total of 484 shareholders voting unanimously in favor of this resolution.
Thank you. I declare the motion unanimously carried. Item 3 on the agenda is a re-election of directors. Item number 3, the 3 directors are Mrs. Aisha Tupamela Sadauki, Mr. Emmanuel E. Imwagene, and Mr. Abiola Adebayo, who are to be re-elected following their retirement by rotation. I hereby move that Mrs. Aisha Tupamela Sadauki be re-elected the director of the company. Will someone please rise and second this motion? No, I think we'll give the lady a chance. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, ma'am. Yes.
My name is Esther Funke Augustine. I second the motion.
Thank you very much. Will all those in favor of this motion please signify by raising their right hands? Thank you. Will anyone objecting to this motion please signify by raising of his or her right hand? No. So the registrars will now please announce the results.
Give them my microphone. Thank you, sir. I confirm that 484 shareholders here represented by proxies and here present voted unanimously in favor of the re-election of the re-election. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I therefore declare the motion carried unanimously. Mr. Emmanuel E. Imwagene is also retires at this meeting by rotation. He has offered himself for re-election. His profile is reflected in the published account, so you can see there. I hereby move that Mr. Emmanuel E. Imwagene be re-elected a director of the company. Will someone please rise and second this motion? Please. Oh, he's on the screen. We introduced him earlier on the screen. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Exactly, yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
My name is Tunji Bamidele. I'm standing to support the motion.
Thank you very much. Will all those in favor of this motion please signify by raising up their right hands? Okay. Will anyone objecting to this motion please signify by raising up his or her right hand? No. Okay. The registrars will now announce the results.
Thank you, sir. For the re-election of Mr. Imwagene, 484 shareholders voted unanimously in favor of the re-election.
Thank you very much. I therefore declare the motion unanimously carried. The third director to be re-elected is Mr. Abiola A. Adebayo. Again, his profile is reflected in the published accounts. I hereby move that Mr. Abiola Adebayo be re-elected a director of the company. Will someone please rise and second the motion? Yes, please.
I, Femi Oduemi, rise to second the motion.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Will all those in favor of this motion please signify by raising up their right hands? Thank you. Will anyone objecting to this motion please signify by raising up his or her right hand? Okay. So the registrars will now announce the results.
Thank you, sir. I confirm that 484 shareholders here present and represented by proxies, which is 100% of those voting at this meeting, voted unanimously in favor of this re-election.
Thank you very much. I declare the motion unanimously carried. As mentioned earlier, 3 new directors were appointed to the board since the last annual general meeting. They are Dr. Vincent Ahohai, Independent Non-Executive Director, Mr. Ekwunife Okoli, Independent Non-Executive Director, and Mr. Ola Ijimaki, Executive Director, Commercial. Again, their profiles have been published in the accounts, and in compliance with the law, the 3 of them shall in turn be presented to you for re-election. I hereby move that Dr. Vincent Ahohai be elected a director of the company. Will someone please rise and second the motion? Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Will all those in favor of this motion please signify by raising their right hands? Thank you. Will anyone objecting to this motion please signify by raising up his or her right hand? None. Again, the registrars will please announce the results.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I confirm that 484 shareholders voting by proxies and here present voted 100% in favor of this resolution. There were no dissenting votes.
Thank you very much. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Mr. Ekwunife Okoli also stands for election at this meeting. His profile is also reflected in the published accounts. I hereby move that Mr. Ekwunife Okoli be elected a director of the company. Will someone please rise and second this motion? Yes, sir.
Second the motion. My name is Tunde Badmos. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Badmos. Will all those in favor of this motion please signify by raising of their right hands? Thank you. Will anyone objecting to this motion please signify by raising of his or her right hand? The registrars will now announce the results.
All right, thank you, sir. 484 shareholders voting by proxies and here present voted 100% in favor of the appointment of the director.
Thank you very much. I declare the motion carried unanimously. The third director to be elected is Mr. Ola Ijimaki. I believe he's on the screen at the moment. His profile is also reflected in the published accounts. I hereby move that Mr. Ola Ijimaki be elected a director of the company. Will someone please rise and second the motion?
I so second.
Oh,
Barrister Adetutu.
Thank you.
Pastor, congratulations.
Okay, will all those in favor of this motion please signify by raising of their right hands? Thank you. Will anyone objecting to this motion please signify by raising of his or her right hand? Right. The registrars will now please announce the results.
Thank you, sir. 484 shareholders voting on this resolution voted unanimously in favor of the resolution to appoint the director.
Thank you. I declare the motion unanimously carried. The item number 4 on the agenda is to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. The auditors, Messrs. Deloitte and Touche, have acted as auditors to our satisfaction since their appointment last year. Under Section 401, subsection 2 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, the retiring auditors are reappointed without any resolution being passed. Section 408 of the Act requires that their remuneration be fixed by the company in general meeting or in such manner as the company in general meeting may determine. I hereby move that the directors be, and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditors for the financial year ending 31st December 2021. Will someone please rise and second the motion? Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes.
I rise to second that motion. Olaniran Kuku is the name.
Oh, sorry, the lady was on the floor, please. There will be another chance for you, please. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
My name is Mrs. Bakari Adebisi.
Right.
I second the motion.
Thank you very much. Will all those in favor of this motion please signify by raising of their right hands? Right. Will anyone objecting to this motion please signify by raising his or her right hand? Right. The registrars will now announce the results.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I confirm that the 484 shareholders here present and voting by proxies voted unanimously in favor of the resolution.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I therefore declare the motion unanimously carried. Item 5 on the agenda is the disclosure of managers' remunerations. The next item on the agenda, this item on the agenda is I think is required by law. I hereby disclose that the remuneration of the managers of the company for the year ended 31st December 2020 was 343,120,000 naira. I believe that's all we're required to do. Okay. Item 6 on the agenda is the election of members of the Audit Committee. In accordance with Section 404 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, our Audit Committee consists of 3 representatives of the shareholders and 2 directors' representatives. The directors' representatives have elected their representatives, and they are Mrs. O.O. Ayebe and Mr. E.E. Imwageni. You are to elect 3 representatives of the shareholders onto the Audit Committee. Accordingly, the Company Secretary received in writing 21 days before the annual general meeting a total of 104 valid nominations. This subsequently, before this meeting, A total of 97 nominees withdrew their nomination, leaving us with only 7 nominees. And the 7 nominees are as follows. Mr. Adio Olaoluwa Simeon. No. And please stand up for recognition if you are here. Oh, he's not here. Okay. Second is Mr. Agbola Olawale Musa. If you are here, please stand up for recognition. He's not here. Chief Matthew Akinlade, nominated by Chief Timothy Adesina. And then number 5 is Mr. Amusa Husseini Aaron Adekunle. If you are here, please stand up for recognition. He's not here. And then number 6 is Mr. Oyedele Adetola Ayobami. If you are here, please stand up for recognition. And then the 7th is Alhaji Sarami Abdulkabir Babatunde. Right. Oh, sorry. Oh, forgive me. Mr. Akisa Solomon Sunday. My apologies. My sincere apologies. My sincere apologies. Yes. Okay. Right. So, given that 4 of the nominees are not here, we shall present those who are present. No. Okay. Okay. By show of hands. Okay. So we'll start with Mr. Adio Olaoluwa Simeon. Do you have any votes in favor of this nominee? Okay, so it's 1.
Okay, 1. Okay. 1 vote. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Right. And we'll go to the second nominee, Mr. Agbola Olawale Musa. Any votes for Mr. Musa? Okay. Shall we go to number 3? Chief Matthew Akinlade. Right.
So we have 17 votes.
So we've recorded that?
Yes, 17 votes.
And then number 4, Mr. Akisa Solomon Sunday. Okay. Okay.
We have 16 votes, sir.
16 votes? Okay. Then number 5, Mr. Amusa Husseini Adekunle. Any votes? No votes. And number 6, Mr. Oyedele Adetola Ayobami. Any votes?
No votes. No votes, sir.
No votes. And the last on the list is Alhaji Sarami Abdulkabir Babatunde.
15 votes,
Yeah,
sir.
that's right.
15 votes, sir.
15 votes. So do we...
Sir?
Can we formally get the registrar to announce the votes, please?
So, for Mr. Akinlade, who was voted for first, he had 17 votes. For Mr. Solomon Akinsanya, who was voted for second, got 16 votes. And Mr. Sarumi, who was voted for third, got 15 votes.
Congratulations. Consequently, Chief Matthew Akinlade, FCA, Mr. Abdulkabir Babatunde Sarumi, and Mr. Akisoya Sandy Solomon have been duly elected to join the directors' representatives on the audit committee. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. Item number 7 on the agenda is approval of directors' remuneration. This next item relates to the remuneration of the directors. Because I'm directly affected by this resolution, I would like the managing director to conduct the voting on this item. MD.
I hereby move that the remuneration of the non-executive directors in respect of the financial year ending 31st December 2021 in the total sum of 20 million naira as against 17 million naira that was in the 2020 accounts be approved. Will someone please second the motion by a raise of hands? If you don't mind, I will take Mr. Kuku, who hasn't had an opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity given.
Yeah, and he came late.
Mr. Kuku. I rise to second that motion.
Thank you very much. Will those in favor of this motion please signify by raising up their right hands or their cards? Thank you. Will anyone objecting to the motion please signify by raising their hands or their cards? Absent. Thank you. Registrar, where are we?
Okay, sir. And even by proxies, there were no dissenting votes. So a combination of the 484 shareholders voting on this resolution voted 100% in favor of the resolution.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So I now declare the motion unanimously carried. I hand over to my able chairman to continue.
Thank you, Andy. We now come to the next item on the agenda, which is to authorize the directors to allot the unissued shares of the company. I hereby move that the directors be, and I hereby are authorized to allot a total of 313,639,750 unissued shares, ordinary shares of 50 kobo in the company's share capital not later than 31st December 2022 by way of a private placement and or a combination of any of a rights issue, public offer, conversion, or such other method as may be approved by the regulators, the shareholders having hereby granted all necessary waivers to put effect to this resolution. Will someone please rise and second the motion? Yes. Mr. Boniface. Yeah.
Chairman, I rise to second the motion. I will have confidence on the board to do the needful. I second the motion.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Will all those in favor of this motion please signify by raising up their right hands? Thank you. Would anyone objecting to this motion please signify by raising his or her right hand? The registrars will now announce the results.
Thank you, sir. 484 shareholders voting physically and by proxies voted unanimously in favor of this resolution. There were no dissenting votes and there was no abstention.
Thank you very much. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Thanks so much for having the confidence in us, and I will not let you down. Item number 9 is the renewal of mandate on current transactions with related parties. This being the last item on the agenda, I hereby move that pursuant to the provisions of paragraph 6 of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, I think it's now the Stock Exchange, the Nigerian Exchange. The Nigerian Exchange, laws governing transactions with related parties or interested persons, the mandate given to the directors to enter into recurrent transactions with the related parties by road. Will someone please second the motion by raising his or her right hand? Well, we have Madam seconding and who thirding the motion. John seconding, yeah. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Will all those in favor of this motion please signify by raising their right hands? Right, please raise your hands. Yes. Will anyone objecting to this motion please signify by raising his or her right hand? Okay. The registrars should now declare the announce the result.
All right. 484 shareholders voting on this resolution voted 100% in favor of the resolution.
Thank you. I now declare the motion unanimously carried. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the business of today, of this year's annual general meeting. On behalf of the board, I thank you for attending this meeting and for showing so much interest in your company's affairs. I also would like to apologize for any upset that we may have had. As the MD said, it is not in my character to upset any shareholder. You employ us, and we give you, it is our obligation to treat you with utmost respect. So if there has been any shareholder that has been upset, please accept my sincere apologies. May I call on Alhaji Kazim Olawala, if he's still here, to please give us the closing prayer.
That is our own cup of tea. They call Alaji and you said it's a Christian way. Well, Mr. Chairman, other distinguished Nigerians, can we rise up for the suspension prayer? We're not closing it now. In the name of Almighty Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, and the most lovely, we have to thank you for the protection and guidance you have displayed to us this afternoon, for having a very smooth-free meeting. As we are set to move on to our various destinations, we pray to Almighty Allah to grant us safe journey back to our destinations. We pray for this company, Fidson PLC, to continually grow monumentally, achievably, and successfully. We pray for the staff, the management, and the board as a body, for God to give them the wisdom to oversee the affairs of the company. Once again, we pray for this country to reign in peace and harmony, so that all of us can have the testimony to give at the end of our day. In the name of Almighty Allah, we have prayed. Amen, amen, amen. Thank you very much, sir.
Very intimate challenges. Challenges such as irregular menstrual cycles, fertility issues, even the general health and development of mother and baby can be a cause for concern. These circumstances often require specialized solutions. Wellness Naturally was created to provide natural solutions for some of life's most delicate challenges. If a natural solution is required for an intimate issue, visit wellnessnaturally.ng. Wellness Naturally, live naturally, live well.